Hi, welcome. Today I have a Bartenieff Fundamentals style class for you. It's been a really long time since I've uploaded Bartenieff material to my channel. In fact, I think more than a year ago. But I've seen that there is some interest for it, which makes me very happy. So I thought that I would attempt to put together a little sequence for you today. Now, before we get down on the floor and get working and exploring, I feel it's good to say that the ideal place to do this kind of movement exploration, let's say, is on a surface that is not bound by, let's say, a workout mat. So I understand that for many people, being like right down on the floor, especially if you have like tiles, that's going to be uncomfortable. But maybe you have a space in your house or wherever you are where you either have a dance mat or you have maybe a carpet that you can move on. Because the mat with its space limitation tends to get in the way a lot. So just keep that in mind. But I understand if you have things that you know are going to hurt, whatever, you can try to do this with a mat as well. But you will see that I have no mat. All right, so when you're ready, let's meet down on the floor, laying on our backs, and yeah, I'll see you there. So for today, we'll begin in a big X position, extending the arms in a wide V position above the head, along the floor, and then opening up the legs a little bit so you are in like a big starfish or a big X. And you want to really relax your chest, letting your your chest bone sink down. You don't have to raise it up, but relax your chest and really begin connecting to the floor, feeling every part of your body, your head, the back of your shoulders, your upper back, your pelvis, your sacrum, your thighs, and your calves, your heels, your arms, your hands. They are on the floor. They are in contact with the floor, and you can let go of your weight into the floor. You feel the ground supporting you. You don't have to do anything at all. Just breathe. Breathe and let go. So see how you begin to just send the breath a little bit deeper in the body. Maybe your belly is expanding as you inhale. Make sure that as you inhale or exhale, that your chin is not lifting up from your body, but you're keeping a long back of your neck. All right, you can begin pushing the floor with your heels and just notice how pushing the floor kind of gives you a little bit of a rocking motion through your spine, through your body. So if you have a slippery floor and you have socks on, then maybe this is not as accessible to you, but it's not too important what it looks like. Just play around pushing the floor with your heels. So see if you can relax your lower back. You can really get that ripple through your spine. Let's go on for a little bit longer. And you'll come to stillness. Just enjoy the feeling in your body and the after effect. I say this often when we do rocking, but I feel like I have sparkling water in my body after I've done this. All right, let's find the floor with the soles of the feet. Knees are pointing up. You can relax your arms, so just let them come straight out from the side. You want to think that your pinky is in the same line as the bottom of your scapula. So just spend a few seconds just connecting your pinky to your scapula, to the bottom of your scapula. See what you need to do, and then relax, finding a natural curve in your spine. All right, beautiful. Let's draw the navel into the spine. So exhale, draw the navel in. Inhale, relax. 2 more. So the spine is not moving. I'm only sucking the navel in and then releasing the navel out. Last one. Exhale. And relax. And next time you do this, you draw the navel in on the exhale. Press your lower back into the floor and lift only your tailbone just ever so slightly off the floor. And then relax, coming back. Your pelvis kind of rotates back or tilts back. Inhale. Exhale, draw the navel in. Push your lower back into the floor. Lift your tailbone a little bit further up than before. And then roll back down vertebra by vertebra. And you're going to relax. Let's do that one more time in this sequence. So first, only draw the navel in on your exhale. Exhale. Inhale, relax. On your next exhale, draw the navel in. Push your lower back into the floor. Lift your tailbone just a few millimeters. And relax, roll back down. Inhale. And last one, exhale, draw the navel in. Push your lower back into the floor. Lift your pelvis a little bit further and let's stay here. Just finding that long back of the neck again. Okay. From here, you want to try to relax your glutes. That's kind of not counterintuitive, but counter whatever you would do in, let's say, a Pilates class, for example. But you're trying to relax the big musculature. So the glutes, the outside of the glute as well, on the front here too. Try to think that you're long here. And notice how my pelvis is just slightly lifted off the floor. I have a deep curve in my abdomen as well. I'm not lifting all the way up. All right, let's now just shift the pelvis laterally to one side. So just shift and then slowly relax down. So you're going to roll through your spine, fully relax at the bottom, and then draw the navel in, lift your tailbone up, coming back up. Try to relax all the big muscles. And just shift your pelvis to the other side and then roll down. Relax against the floor. Drop your weight completely each time. 2 more times. So draw the navel in, push your lower back into the floor, lift your tailbone off, and then turn off all this big stuff going on. Shift your pelvis. And then roll down, give into the floor. Make sure that your pinky is connected to your scapula. And again, navel to spine, push the lower back into the floor, lift your tailbone and shift and relax down. All right, let's just come up one last time just to reposition in the middle. Beautiful. Now I've been sliding a little bit along the floor, so I'll just readjust. All right, this time you're going to drop both your knees to one side. Letting go of everything. Make sure that you completely drop here. Long iliopsoas here. And now you're going to connect to that suction of the navel and allow that navel to draw into the spine, pulling your sit bone. You see this, it's not the sit bone, the femoral bone, this long bone here is kind of pulling you back towards the floor as you come up. So navel to spine and bone to floor. Drop the knees to the opposite side. Completely, like full drop here. And then navel to spine, bone to floor. All right, let's do it again. Drop the knees. And navel to spine, bone to floor. See how it's almost a movement shifting a little bit behind you, right? So you drop out from your center line and now you're shifting back again. So you can even just play here. I should show you on the other side. So after you dropped your knees, you can just play with that shift, that bone that is seeking the floor. Right? So I guess you could, no, it's not the sit bone. You couldn't say that. But it's the direction of this bone that is kind of pulling you back where you came from. really imagine someone taking you here at the hip and just pulling you back. And drop to the other side and pull back. A few more just in your own tempo. Just play along with it. You can even, I'm giving you a lot of inputs here, but you can even stay and kind of rock back and forth to find that diagonal in your leg, but also to find that diagonal from the knee to your shoulder, but also from your foot to your knee, to your hip, to your shoulder, to your pinky. Aha! Lots of things going on. And if we stopped to rock on one side, we want to do the same thing on the other side as well. A little rock. So if you have tension or blockages in your body, so let me give you an example. I have a very tight iliopsoas on this side. That's going to stop the flow, kind of. So you have to really search for it and try to relax while you push and give it that space to move through you, that push, that energy, you could say, but let's not get too carried away with the terms. All right, let's come back up. You're going to spread out to a big X again, spreading arms and legs away. And I want to just introduce one more thing to you, and then we're going to be a little bit more dynamic. But you want to reach out from your hip socket. So take one of your feet or one of your legs and imagine that there's something you want to reach just right outside of your reach. So I'm going to extend through, so from my core, let's say from my center, through my hip, through my iliopsoas here, and through my foot. Maybe this opposite hip is lifting a little bit, and then relax, calming back, hips are leveled again. Reaching out to the from the opposite side. So I have a very long side here, and this side is kind of lifting as a consequence. And relax, back. All right, let's reach and relax and reach and relax. So really try to find length in your body as you're doing this. You're reaching, extending without using a lot of muscle power. So you're trying to connect to the kind of the channels in your body and just tuning into that line that you have through your hip there. And other side. And we can get a little bit playful, just kind of rocking our hips a little bit without thinking too much of it. So this is, you're not reaching as much, it's just like a tiny little reach. You can place your hands on your hips to try to relax on top here. And even a little bit faster if you want to. Just making sure that it's not this muscle on the top here that is moving, it's more like a bony feeling. You're sending your bones away. All right, let's relax. Maybe you want to have a little rock just to let everything go. And we'll get a little bit more dynamic. We're moving a little bit more in space. So starting from the center of your body, you want to gather on one side everything, all the external parts into the center. So think that you gather all of it to the center on one side, meaning that you're going to come to sort of a fetal position. And stay relaxed in your body. Don't think about the shape so much. Just relax. And now from the center of your body, maybe from your navel, you begin to release out. So tilting your weight over and reaching out from this center, spreading out on the floor, finding that wide X position again. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So the navel is kind of reclaiming all of the body to itself, sort of like a flower that is closing. Relax. And then from the navel again, begin tilting back, spreading out. sequentially growing and relaxing, spreading, expanding. One more time on each side in your own tempo, nice and slow. Really connect to the, let's say, the image, the inner image of what you're doing, rather than to connect to a form. Really imagine that you are maybe a starfish, like you're all gooey and soft, so that as you spread out, it really is just sort of a melting, like an ice block that is slowly melting. It just expands on the floor. Right. Let's stay here in the X again. And this time you are going to reach your elbow to your knee on the same side and extend. Other side now, elbow and knee together. So just starting here, let's just connect with that for first. Elbow to knee. So you might be more or less mobile than I am. So you don't have to lift your knee as far up as I am doing. You can just do a smaller one here. Okay. So now you are going to allow the top of your head to follow your elbow as your elbow goes down to meet the knee. You see? And then extend away. Top of the head reaches up and over, curves over to meet the knee. All right. And even one more input. The top of the head reaches back. Now connect the knee to the tailbone. So knee and tailbone, top of the head and elbow. So the top of your head is seeking your tailbone rather than your knee, if that makes sense. And we can move a little bit faster too. Sure. Think about a candy cone. Moving, kind of, candy cones are not moving, hopefully. Usually they are not moving, but the shape of a candy cone, reaching up and over something. All right, let's try that fetal position again from this modality of movement. So come to a side curve here, and then you're going to reach the opposite arm above the head and reach the opposite, you're reaching the opposite side of your body away from center as you tilt your weight over. Did that make sense? And we are here in a fetal position. Now reach your top arm and your top leg away. Tilt your body back to the floor. And now connect the top of the head to the tail and the elbow to your knee. You found that same shape. And now extend to the X. Beautiful. Other side. So tilt over, top of the head or head to tail, and then reach away from center and over, and just tilt over to fetal. Whew. Now reach again, top arm and top leg. Then seek the floor with your back. Connect to the top of the head and the tailbone. And you're going to extend away. One more on each side. You can even move a little bit more fluidly now that we know the progression of what we're doing, but be also kind of detailed and precise in what you're doing. It's the top of your head and your tailbone that is leading this movement. It's a different way of doing the same thing. All right, let's pay attention. This time you're going to come to a fetal position, but give yourself a little bit more momentum and push the floor to come to a child's pose, all the way up on your knees. Yes, seek the floor with your pelvis, your back, reach away, and now connect to your head, tail, and big X. Beautiful. Other side, head, tail. Reach away momentum. Oh, I didn't have it. I had to push myself a little harder. Okay, seek the floor and reach away. Head, tail, and extend. All right, let's just play. Try to do this a few times in your own tempo. Push the floor. See how that bottom arm really can help you to get up to a child's pose. I hope that the microphone is not disturbing. I should have a check. Yeah. So you'll notice as we do these kind of things that the more you can drop your weight into the floor, the easier it's going to be to move. So that is kind of the bigger purpose here, is to really get that weight down to the floor. And then we are applying these specifics. Head, tail, push the floor, and tilt back, melt down, head, tail, and reach away. Beautiful. Let's come to the child pose again one last time. So you'll just choose which side you want to curve over to and push yourself up. And just because of the microphone, I'm going to turn, but you'll just stay where you were. All right, let's push all the way up to all fours. And we won't stay here for a long time. We're just going to push the floor and just kind of savor this little moment of height or of level change, of change in the position of our body. Imagine, you know, how the cat kind of steps on the duvet, or if you have a particularly soft couch. And you can do this through your knees as well, kind of pushing the floor to push your body off the floor. If it's bothersome to your knees, then you're not going to do this. You can just stay in a child pose if you would like. Now begin sinking down back to that child position, gathering everything underneath you. And from here, in your own tempo, and without thinking about any specific shape, you're just going to begin melting out from your center. So just spreading your limbs out. Think sequentially, everything starts from the center and kind of just melts out and spreads out all at once. Really dropping into the floor. I'm going to lift my head a little bit off the floor, but you want to just rest either your forehead or your cheek onto the floor, fully dropping down. So finding that weight again, just as when we were laying on the back, the arms are really dropped down, your chest, your belly, the front of your pelvis. If your knees are kind of bothered by this position, you can tuck your toes under, or you can rotate your legs out to find a little bit more comfort. All right, you're now going to place the palms of your hands beneath your shoulders, more or less. Doesn't have to be exact. And we're going to just push the floor ever so slightly. And you will notice that your pelvis can begin to rock from side to side. So if this bothers your hip bones or your knees, you can absolutely place something beneath them. It does help to tuck the toes under for the knees if that's the problem. So again, you want to rest your cheek down. I'm just avoiding that just for the microphone. But you want to stay as soft and relaxed. It's a bone. Again, connect to the bones in your body. Your bones are pushing. Your muscles are just flesh right now. All right, let's come to stillness. And you're going to, again, push a little bit into your hands. Begin reaching out to the top of your head, lifting your upper body just a little bit. So this is by pushing the floor, not by lifting with your muscles. And come down to the floor again. Let's try it one more time. Just push the floor. So do evaluate if you want to place your hands a little bit further away from your body and coming down. So let's place the hands a bit further away or in front of you, and then push into the elbows. You want to stay kind of low here. You can rest on the floor if you want to, and begin pushing into the elbows and connect to the scapula. So the scapula is the back of your shoulder here, the two plates that are kind of moving over your back, right? You want to connect to the bottom of your scapula. So you can take your hand and kind of feel where that is. All right, just to get like an inner picture of what's going on. And as you push the floor through your elbows, you want to really reach into those and really connect to those. Really feel how that energy into the floor is kind of manifesting or rising up into your scapula. All right, so we're just playing around, right? This is just an exploration. You can push more on one side, the other side. So what you want to make sure is that you're not lifting your shoulders up, not crunching the neck, not really engaging those shoulders at the top of the neck. You're kind of just playing here. Now, as you're playing, you can begin taking some chances. So maybe you are lifting your upper body up more. Right? And again, really feel that connection. If you feel yourself coming up into your neck muscles, then come back down. And again, reach into your scapulas through that push. You can also move your hands a little bit, right? And again, try to be as fleshy as possible. So, this time let's tuck the toes under and reach the arms a little bit further in front of us. Let's try to push the floor through our toes as we kind of pull ourselves. Yeah, so pushing with the toes and then reaching through the top of the head and pulling with our arms. So when you pull with the arms, don't go up into your neck, but connect to that scapula we just worked on, right? So push the floor and I pull and let go. Push the floor and pull. Reach forward through the top of your head. All right, so this is the exercise. Just play along. Now, have you seen a baby do this? Try to connect with your younger self, you know, when you were probably laying just like this, trying to get forward, pushing the floor and reaching and pulling yourself forward. All right, we can push ourselves back, connect to the scapula if you have been riding forward. So push and pull and connect to the scapula. So again, reach through the top of your head. Right, and we're going to try this time to push and pull ourselves all the way up to all fours. Now I have to connect the top of my head to my tail and really bring my knees underneath my body. All right, so from this child pose, just melt back down just as we did before, piece by piece, dropping into the floor. Melting and spreading out. Connect to the scapulas. Begin pushing the floor. Get that connection again. And we'll do it again. Reaching forward. Pushing the floor. Pulling yourself in front. And then head to tail. Curve in. Beautiful. One more time. Let's spread out on the floor. And excuse me if I'm readjusting continuously, but the space is not so large here. Connect to your scapula, tuck your toes under. We're going to push and reach and pull. Okay, head to tail. Beautiful. And now this time, let's come up to all fours. Pushing your body away from the floor now, really active push. Again, your pinky is connected to your scapula, so you really want to get back to that feeling. Let's pull into the tailbone. So imagine someone pulling you by the tail, reaching out through the tailbone, and then reaching out through the top of your head over your fingertips. Again, reach out through your tail. Feel how your spine is kind of getting longer. Reach out from the top of your head. So again, it's a bony feel. You push the floor away. That's how you can stay here. It's not because you are contracting a lot of muscles. It's the push of the floor that allows you to stay up from the floor. And it's like a reaching through the bone structure, through your spine, that allows you to move. Try to connect to that concept or that feeling. Now you're going to walk your hands to one side, to a diagonal, and do exactly the same thing on this diagonal. Try to really relax that hip flexor on the same side. So of course you can increase or decrease the movement according to your body, to what feels good for you. And let's walk over to the other side and do the same. Reach back through your bones and reach forward through the top of your head, the top of your spine, right? The top of your head. Back and forward and back and forward. And walk yourself back. And we're going to just sink down to child's pose again. Gather yourself. And guess what? You're going to slowly melt down back to the floor. To that X position. And from here, come over to one side. Again, think about that navel that is like reclaiming all the other body parts towards itself, to fetal position. And now connect to the top of your head and your tailbone, your elbow to knee. Reach the opposite arm and leg away. And you come to your back. Beautiful. Let's move one time to the other side and then back again, just for fun. So head to tail, elbow to knee, reach away, and come all the way to child pose. So push yourself up, and from here, excuse me, melt out. And we're going to move the other way now. So gather from your navel onto your side to fetal pose in the opposite direction. And now head, tail, knee to elbow, reach away, coming back. Beautiful. Let's just have a little rock here, just to close. And again, you want to let your chest drop down into the floor. Three more deep breaths. And you can come to stillness with your rocking. Just enjoying that sensation in your body that you've been moving, exploring, pushing and pulling. 2 more breaths.